I am Dr. Barbara Vandy Castle, and I'm excited to present our Fitness to Prevention talk with myself and Dr. Don McKenzie. This has been put on and requested by the Annapolis Dragon Boat Club, so thank you for reaching out from them and getting all this information lined up for us to talk tonight. So thank you very much. I'm going to move on to the next slide. And you can see this slide, yes? Hopefully. So this is our talk of fitness to prevention, lessons from dragon boating. And I'm going to give you a little bit of my background in terms of dragon boating. And
Barbara, I can't see the slide.
um, are, are you the only one, Lynn? Can anybody else see the slides?
I I can see your slides, Barb.
Okay.
I can see it, Barb.
Yeah, you might need to
I
sort
can
of,
too.
great. You might need to sort of move your cursor around a little bit, Lynn. Um, you can text in the chat, and that will help them. They'll help you that way, Lynn. So this is a picture of the Italy race in 2019 and the IBC PC race. Here's me steering up, standing there steering in the back of the boat. And so this race was a lot of fun, and it was for me, my first international dragon boat race with the breast cancer community. And before I get into any further discussion about that, I want to review real quickly our objectives for tonight. I am a faculty member, so I sort of use these kinds of things. We want to recognize the role of exercise in reducing the risk of developing cancer and other chronic conditions such as type 2 diabetes and obesity. We'll discuss some practical strategies for safely beginning and maintaining an exercise program. We will not be tailoring this for you. You need to tailor your individual health needs and comorbidities. And we'll talk about how exercise supports cancer survivors in managing treatment and side effects, and specifically the great research that Dr. McKenzie has been doing. And then, as Eileen mentioned, I'll go through these slides, and then Dr. McKenzie will talk, and then we'll have a Q&A. So if you have some questions now, go right ahead and place them into the chat, and we may already talk about them as we go through our slides. So for me, at this point in my life, this is the crossroads of what I do, which is nursing informatics and dragon boating. So I'm a woman, a mother, a grandmother, I'm a wife, I am a nurse within my career, starting in med-surg and emergency room, and becoming faculty and learning informatics, which is data and the electronic health record, and also becoming the oncology educator at Johns Hopkins Hospital. So I went from faculty at that point into the hospital and was working as the oncology educator when my husband said, "Hey, kids are out to college. Come in and join me in the Dragon Boat," which he was doing in Baltimore. And so I jumped into the boat, literally, and realized what great fun it was, what a great workout it was. And it really made me feel strong, and I enjoyed it. But also as a faculty and oncology educator, I was doing a lot of research and looking on PubMed and ran across articles by somebody named Dr. Don McKenzie, who looked at dragon boating as a way to promote wellness and decrease lymphedema in breast cancer survivors using dragon boating. And I said, "Hey, did you know this?" So we started encouraging breast cancer folks in Baltimore to join into the dragon boating. And that's where I sort of grew up in dragon boating for a couple of years. And then I became a breast cancer survivor. So I've been dragon boating on both sides, if you will, of non-breast cancer survivor and survivor. Now I'm still a current informatics professor at the University of Maryland School of Nursing. I'm a dragon boat coach. I steer and I'm a paddler, and I happen to love looking at data. So that's sort of where I'm approaching our discussion on fitness and exercise tonight. So for me, dragon boating was an anchor. For all of you, it might be dragon boating, but it also might be walking or riding a bike or swimming or pickleball. Any of those kinds of exercise is something you need to work on. I'm going to focus a little on dragon boating, um, and it certainly offers a great physical fitness and builds mental resilience with this strength. And a lot of folks will say, I'm not strong enough to get into the boat. I'll get there after I, get strong, and then we feel like we never get strong. But what dragon boating can do for you is get you strong. You don't have to start out being strong. You can start and build up your strength. Working with a team is something that really can help you maintain your discipline in in exercise, and then resilience. And you work with folks that can be breast cancer survivors or have not yet had breast cancer, or might be a young person just looking for an exercise fitness out on the water. And then my view is this looking at dragon boating and having assisted health tracking and understanding the impact of my exercise for me, as well as the team, in trying to help promote physical fitness and our team abilities to dragon boat. So this is my personal insight into this sport, and I hope that you sort of can enjoy this look at the data that we have and can get. So some of you may be able to put up your hand or say something in the chat about if you happen to wear a smartwatch or look and track steps. I happen to have a long history of using these devices. There's Fitbit, there's Apple Watch, there's Garmin's. Um, right now, I'm addicted to wearing two watches of different types to look at the data. And that helps me motivate my fitness and looking at what I can do daily and weekly, as well as during my workouts with the Dragon Boat team. Um, what you can do is certainly share data with your teammates and the coaches, but what I want to just say here is a plug for when you use these devices, you do give your permission to share your data with a company that you've purchased. So, for instance, you might have heard some folks saying that friends had an Apple Watch. I mean, this is some story that someone told me. And the Apple Watch told them that they had AFib. So it read the data, it contacted them, and they said, we're seeing atrial fibrillation. And the patient went to the hospital and they had AFib. So you share your data. So when you decide to get these devices, you have to understand and be aware that you are deciding to share your data with these companies. And that is a way for you to, one, help yourself, but also you need to understand that if you don't want to do the data sharing, then you don't want to wear one of those devices. So it can track metrics like heart rate and your heart rate variability and the stroke efficiency in paddling. And we'll get to that in a few moments. But this can really provide you feedback, and you individually can set your goals based on your strength. You can watch your strength increase as you increase your data and looking at it. So you need to sort of start looking at that data if you haven't already. And some of you and your teams may be using this data already, and that's great. But using it as a way to analyze your progress is really good. Now, not all of these devices are the same. I talk about user-friendly interfaces, right? So let's look at what these can help us look at. Got a pictures here of your heart rate. Yeah, that's beats per minute there. And you want to look at exercise and data analysis. And when you walk faster, if you carry weights, if you park far from the exercise area and then walk further in the grocery stores, I'm sorry, park far away in the grocery stores, um, and then that you can get more walk steps is what I want to tell you there. You get other kind of information, nutrition, sleep, but these are real world applications that you can use in dragon boating. This is a screenshot from my Garmin from a practice that I had a couple weeks ago. And you can see that the total time was 1 hour and 18 minutes. The total distance was greater than 4,500 meters. There's my total calories I burnt, 434. The total strokes from the time we left the dock to returning to the dock was 1,227. And we've been watching and monitoring our average distance per stroke. Our goal was 3 meters per stroke, moving the boat. And I did 2.96. This is my measurements. And then this next screen here I had pop up is a speed coach there. And you can see that it tells us the difference of the meters per stroke there and the speed. There's more screens here that can tell you more data as the boat for the team and how the boat does in the practice. So this is an example. Now, let me get a little nerdy more with you on the data. Here's a screenshot from my device that is showing me my stroke rate. Now, let me explain this to you. This line here, horizontal line, is about that 3 meters. This is the entire practice. You can see that early in the practice, I was hovering around 3 meters per stroke. I had variability in terms of whether or not the team was doing starts or races or a long ride that may have been more than 10 minutes. And so this was my distance per stroke. So we say, well, what was your heart rate? Well, here's what my heart rate was in those zones when I was paddling. You can see the different colors there. Zone 5 is your maximum. Zone 4 was the threshold. And this was the time during the entire paddle that I spent in there, as well as the percentage. So look at the color, the time, and the percent. Now, what I'm going to do, so hang on, is I've overlaid the heart rate over the distance per stroke so that you can see that the bigger the stroke, the more my heart was working, the bigger the paddle strength, and the further the boat went, right? Is our goal is for folks to move that boat and at the same time get healthier and work your heart. So these are the options up to you. There's barriers, there's facilitators. Can you track this data and see a change in yourself? When you choose an option, you want to make sure that you can read it. Can you read it while you're paddling? Can you provide data from it while you're in the boat and can say, oh, I'm not reaching enough. I need to reach more. So that's the information I wanted to provide for you. So this is at this moment for me in my life, all my things have sort of come together where I love data and I love dragon boating. And so there's a lot that you need to think about in terms of looking at the data and trying to get better exercise so that you can get that wellness that we all want in our health. So wearing these devices provides personal health data that you need to understand and look at. And even if you just start looking at that and then collaborating with your professional, your PCP, your physician, your family, your teammates, to get that wellness futures. And what we wanted to do with Dawn and I is to have this call to action for you to get out there and get fit.